Hi everybody, it's John back here with another model inbox review. Uh, I'll give you one guess as to what you're looking at here. A few months ago I started doing a series of 4 kits which I bought from the Star Wars series, and today we're looking at the second model from this series, and this is Han Solo's Millenium Falcon. This is an image from the original Star Wars film released in 1977 of Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, and this is the Millennium Falcon in Dock 93 when Luke Skywalker first saw the ship and he spoke those immortal words, "It's just a piece of junk." Well, yeah, it was a piece of junk, but it became a very popular and well-loved ship in the series by all Star Wars fans. The kit we're actually looking at is the Revell kit in 1/241st scale. And again, this is a small model. It's a very small model. It carries a stand with the kit as well. But even though it's a small model, the pro builders and the pro reviewers actually quite like this kit because it's relatively detailed for its size. It's easy to build, very easy to acquire. But it is a true replica with really, really good outline, and it's a really accurate replica of the original model used in Star Wars Episode 4. So we'll go straight into the boxing history. The kit originally appeared in 2008 as an easy kit pocket build kit of the Millennium Falcon from Revell. It is a true Revell kit. It was not reboxed from anyone else's models, and this is probably one of the few Revell kits I can honestly say has never been designed by somebody else. Originally released in 2008, and this is as I said, the Easy Kit Pocket Build set, which is recommended for people over the age of 6. The serial number on the kit here is 06727, and I think the serial number of the model that I'm looking at here is 03600, I think. I'm looking at it and trying to see. I think it's 03600, yeah, I think it is. And the model boxing that I've got here looks nothing like this, but this was the original model box release in 2008. It was again re-released in 2012 in this guise. This is the Easy Kit Pocket Build model. Now, don't quote me on how this kit was put together and whether this is the exact same model, but according to ScaleMates, this is the exact same model. But I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. But the kit originated from these molds. And I'm pretty sure this kit has 20 parts, just like the model that I've got in front of me. So yeah, this is the Easy Kit Pocket Build, again re-released in 2012, but again this was re-released for the Phantom Menace movie. So that's 2012. Then we have the kit that was released in 2015 as a starter set. This is virtually the same kit that I've got, although the box is slightly different, but the kit I've got is not a starter set and it hasn't got any of that glue, the paints or the brush or anything like that. It's just a standard kit that I've got, but it has got a different boxing on the front promoting a different movie. I think it's promoting Rogue One. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's promoting Rogue One. Some of the figures on there look like the Rogue One film. But anyway, this is promoting The Force Awakens, which is the start of the new movies that came out a few years ago. I quite like the new movies, actually. They're quite good. I think they're an imaginative idea of 60 years on from the original film settings. Sorry. This was 2015's release, and this was released as a starter set. 2015 also released the kit as a standard model. There's 03600. That's definitely the same kit that I've got, but I've got the different boxing, as you'll see in a minute. This is 2015's release without the starter set. Exactly the same kit inside. And in 2017, this is the model that I'm actually doing a review on. It's exactly the same kit as was released in 2015, but I'm pretty sure it promotes, it's either The Last Jedi or it's Rogue One. I'm not 100% certain, but looking at it, it could be The Last Jedi, actually, looking at it. Interesting to see what it was at. It's actually based on, maybe it will say it in the instructions, but we'll get that. 2017, that's a new release that's come out. This has been on the market now for nearly 2 years, and they'll probably re-release it again in the near future with the new film that's being released this year at Christmas. So that's 2017, the 1/241st scale Millenium Falcon. We'll leave you an image now of the Millenium Falcon. This is an image, I think this is shot from it's either the second or it's first or second movie, so episode 4 or 5. But it just shows the Millenium Falcon in all her glory, and I think she's a lovely looking ship. Anyway, we'll pan the camera around, have a look at the box in question. And here it is. Let's pan that down a little bit more. There we go. Now then, this is the kit. It's quite a large box, and when you open the box up and have a look at the actual kit inside, the kit inside is quite small. Anyway, we'll just open. I have actually opened this up to have a quick look and have a look, see what the score is for this kit. We'll just get the stuff out in the normal fashion that we normally get out. That's everything out. On the back of the box, you've got some images of the model itself, and as you can see, the images of the model itself, the kit looks quite nice. It's quite detailed, and when you see the size of the kit itself, you'll be quite surprised because it's not very big. Instructions first and foremost, and we'll get to the other stuff. Instructions are actually, they're really nice instructions. Just making sure the decals aren't in here. No, they're not. Right, the instructions are full colour. It's an A4 size instruction leaflet. And that's a picture of what you get in the box when the model's made up, with the stand and everything. And the kit in the instruction leaflet makes the kit out to be quite large, but it's not. It's quite a small kit. Very basic in design and how you put it together as well. You've got here a parts plan and a paint guide on the opening 2 sheets. There's quite a few colours involved with this. Although some of the markings actually save you an awful lot of painting, because some of the decals that go on this kit, it's quite a comprehensive decal sheet, as you'll see in a minute. The kit builds up, I think it builds up in 4 stages. Let's have a check. No, actually it builds up in quite a few stages. It builds up in 8 stages, which I'm quite surprised about because there's not a lot going on here. The parts plan show you quite simply that there's not an awful lot going on here. Actually, what I'd like to do, I'd like to try and bring this camera a little bit back a bit, so I can try and get some of the shadow out, because it seems to be shadowing quite a bit here, and unfortunately I didn't really want to do that. The parts plan here show quite plain and simply that you've got the 2 major parts to the ship's hull in 2 parts, basically part 4 and 18. And then you've got a clear transparency sprue there. I'll bring this closer to the camera so you can see what's there, but there's 4 parts on a transparency sprue, which is interesting. You've got another 2 sprues here, which incorporate a few parts which go in, I think, in the side of the hull, and those parts there on that sprue are basically the stand and a couple of other bits and bobs that go on the kit. And then you've got need spare parts. That's just like if you've got bits missing or badly moulded bits, it gives you addresses and things to send off and the procedure to send off for them, which is quite good. And in section 1, you're basically building the lower hull. You're putting a couple of bits of body shell sides into the inner frontal area of the ship there, and the front parts that go on the very front of the hull there as well. and they all just go, they slot in quite nicely and glue into place, and you've got a little paint guide there that shows you what to paint, this, that and the other on the parts that you put them in. And then you've got, in section 2, you've got basically the cockpit with an interior. Yeah, there's an interior there. It's probably one piece that you have to paint yourself, but there is an interior that sits behind that cockpit canopy, which is quite nice. Section 3, sorry about the shadow, lads. Actually, let's see if I can pull that up a bit and get the shadow away from there a little bit. That's a bit better, isn't it? Section 3, you're building the rest of the sides of the hull, and a couple of other bits that go in the side there. They're docking bays or something, are they? They go in the side of the bottom of the hull as well. And then section 4, you're putting the rear parts into the ship, and that large blue part is actually a clear plastic section which reproduces the engine exhaust system and the thrust mechanism at the back of the ship there. That's quite nice. Section 5 is the hull. Sorry, that is the stand, which I usually paint black as well, so that's fine. And in section 6, you're basically building the upper hull. Bits and bobs there that go into place too. Is that the upper hull, or is that? Yeah, that's the upper hull. Which you're putting bits and bobs here and there into. It's quite nice. The method of construction in this kit is quite easy. And then you're basically marrying the lower hull to the upper hull, putting that all together and painting a couple of bits and bobs in there. And in section 8, you're basically just putting the stand into place. And there's a position there, like a suggestion of how to display the kit, which is quite nice. Section 9 is the Decal ID application guide, which, as I said, there are quite a lot of decals on this kit. There's 2 images there, upper and lower hull, which is quite nice. Quite a lot going on, that's quite nice, isn't it? And then on the other side, section 10, you've got more bits and bobs that need painting up and decals that need applying. Some ports there that are painted matte black, and then you've got the underside of the hull there on that section there. It's quite a complicated and quite a complicated paint plan on this kit, and this is why I think the pro modelers like this model, because although it's small, it's very detailed. There's a lot going on with this model. Section 11 there is more bits and bobs to paint and decals to apply. It's nice, isn't it? I quite like the instruction leaflet. Is quite nice. It's quite well presented. Nice colour guide there. The decals. The decals are small because the kit's small, but there's quite a lot going on there, and they're really nice quality. They're very, very crisp. The register on them is very good. They're not raised at all. They're quite fine, and the backing film is very clear, which is great. So the decals are very, very, very good. I'm very pleased with those indeed. Now the parts. This video is not going to be very long, is it? Transparencies. I don't know if I can get the transparencies out. No, I can't. I think you can see the transparencies quite nicely through there, mind. Basically, you've got that big rim at the back, which is the engine exhaust port, thrust mechanism. And then you've got a couple of bits there which go into the hull, and that's the canopy. And the parts are very clear, very crisp parts, and I think they'll paint up quite nice as well. Might need a fine brush to do that canopy mine, that will be interesting. But the transparency parts are very, very good. You've got 4 sprues with grey plastic on them, which is interesting. Not many parts to this kit, as I said before. I think there's 20 parts in total, but the stand, there's my hand, that's the stand. So you can see this kit isn't very big. The quality of the mouldings on these parts is actually quite good. The kit is nicely moulded, there's no flash at all on the parts. There are a few bits of flash on the sprue and the trees, but nothing on the actual parts themselves, which is good. That's that first sprue. I'll just show you the second sprue, which is basically a lot of the sides and the dish there, the radio dish, and that part there, which I'm not quite sure, will probably become apparent when I'm building the kit. and some of the sides to the hull pieces there that are quite nicely detailed, and they're quite crisp and quite richly detailed actually. For a small kit, this is really nice. I'm very impressed with this. The ship's hull, I think this is the upper hull, and you can see the detail on the hull is really good. It's absolutely fantastic, and I think this will weather up and paint up really nice. I think you'll have some issues with some of the decals going on there, although I think most of the flat decals do go on those flat sections on the hull, so I don't think you're going to have an issue with putting the decals on, but time will tell. And the lower hull is on this sprue here, and again it's really nicely moulded, crisply moulded, nice detail, really small parts. I mean, that's my hand. The Falcon is probably about half the length of my hand, so it's not a very big kit at all, but that part is really nice, isn't it? It's quite nicely detailed, this kit. So that's the parts in the model. Nice crisp parts, not very many parts there to mess about with. I think the kit will build quite quickly, but it might take a while to paint and get a good result, which I'm quite looking forward to. I think, you know, I think if you take your time with this, I think you could come up with a really good result, which is quite good. Put the decals back in there, put this sheet back into the instruction leaflet, and then get everything back into the box so I can give you all the gumph and the details on this kit. Back into there, and there we go, and there's the box all finished. I'm going to just leave you with that image there very quickly, and I'll just draw that in a little bit there so you can see that image quite nicely. There we go. And I'm just going to give you the gumph on the model itself so I can close this video down. There's not a huge amount to go through here, and what is here is quite good. Now then, the model itself is the Revell Millenium Falcon in 1/241st scale, serial number 03600. Its release date originally was 2008, but in this style of boxing it was 2015. There are decals for one version in the box, and the kit dimensions are about 4.5 inches long by 3.25 inches wide by 2 inches high on its stand. There are 16 parts on 4 grey plastic sprues and 4 parts on 1 clear plastic sprue, totaling 20 parts in total. Options and costs. There aren't that many options and costs, but there are worthy of quite a lot of note. In 1/350th scale, Bandai do a Millenium Falcon for £7 to £10. In 1/241st scale, the Revell offering of the Millenium Falcon retails for anything between £3 and £15. You can buy this kit quite regularly in the shops. It's usually in virtually every model shop you can possibly imagine. In 1/164th scale, Revell do another Millenium Falcon, which retails between £20 and £22. By the way, the 241st scale kit has a 2-star rating from the pro reviewers, so it is quite highly recommended. In 1/144th scale, there are a number of kits. The Argonauts Millenium Falcon, Bandai do a Millenium Falcon, Fine Molds do a Millenium Falcon, and Revell do a Millenium Falcon, which is a reboxed Fine Molds kit. I have no prices for any of these, but the Bandai kit is quite heavily reviewed on the internet, and it seems to be quite popular with the pro builders and reviewers. In 1/78th scale, the MPC Falcon retails about £60 to £80, and this has a 3-star rating. The pro builders really like this kit as well. Airfix did a 1/78th scale model, which was also an MPC reboxing, and that is available for between £50 and £100, depending on the quality of the box and the age of the kit. In 1/72nd scale, Bandai do a 3-star rated kit by the pro builders. This is probably the best model of a Millenium Falcon on the market, as the Bandai 1/72nd scale kit, but be aware it is huge. It's very big. Fine Molds also do a Millenium Falcon, and Revell do a 72nd scale Millenium Falcon, which is a reboxed Bandai kit, and that kit retails for £45 to £55. I haven't got any pricings for the Bandai or Fine Molds original boxings. There's also an option from AMT and Ertil of a Millenium Falcon in 1/58 scale, and this is the largest scale you can buy this kit in. The retail price of that model is anything from £99 to £120, but I have seen it built up for £200 and plus. The model is actually massive, and when it's built up it's incredibly impressive, and if the modeler is a professional modeler, this particular kit is probably as good as any of the studio models used for some of the movies. Conclusions. It may be a small model, but it is surprisingly detailed, and it's a very detailed kit which the pro builders seem to respect and recommend it from the smaller scale Falcon kits. It's being the model of choice. I will say how I feel about it. I must admit that it looks pretty good. I think the model itself, we've looked at the parts. I think the parts themselves look very detailed and they're very crisp. But what the pro builders are saying about this particular kit is, although it's small, it's very accurate. And if you spend time to take care with the painting, you can get an incredibly good result with this particular model. So I'm tempted to recommend this before I've even started building it properly. I think the kit, if you're interested in a tabletop model or something to go on your bedroom shelf maybe, I think this would be a kit of choice because it's quite small. It doesn't take up a lot of room, but it has got the recommendations and it does seem to be quite accurate and very detailed. So that's the inbox review for the Revell 1/241st scale Millenium Falcon. I hope this video has been of some use, and I'll see you for the next one. Thanks for tuning in. Any questions, comments, please put them in the comments, but I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now.